Yo, what's up, y'all? This philosophical from the rap review room, y'all. What's going on? What's going on? I first want to say continue to like, share, and subscribe to the page, man. Really appreciate a lot of feedback, a lot of the comments. Also, if you're an up and coming artist and you want your music reviewed here, don't hesitate to reach out to me, whether that may be a track, whether it may be an album, or you would like an interview on this channel where I give honest feedback, I give authentic feedback, and we also give some spotlight to a lot of our local up and coming artists. All right, make sure you guys reach out to me. We can definitely get your music reviewed here. All right, so we're gonna do something a little different today, right? Today I am going to be reviewing the Muddy Waters 2 album, right, by Redman. Right, really excited about this album. I was really excited about this album. Um, I know this album has 32 tracks on here, right? But I am going to first review my very favorite, one of my favorite tracks on this album. And then I'm going to give my full breakdown review of the track and the album at the end. All right. So I am going to review Redman, La La La, featuring Method Man. Method Man's been on a little bit of a roll lately. I've been thinking about whether to go and kind of review his album a little bit, one of his albums. But yeah, I've given my thoughts on that Snoop Dogg and him verse. I thought that was a contender for verse feature of the year. Let's see what he does on this Redman track. Let's check it out, man. Redman featuring Method Man, La La La. Let's check it out.
Let's go! Yo, now everybody welcome me back like I'm Carter. It's 90s ugly, I'm in the mirror like Shubba. America's most blunted. Cheech and Chong say I'm done.
I like this. Already, I like the energy with Redman coming in already. I'm going to speak on that on the album. But I'm liking the energy already. Um, let's see what he does with. He usually shows up. Of course, Redman and Method Man came out with an album. The beat is fire. Let's see what Method Man does in this, but I'm already liking what Redman is doing here.
A bounty hunter for the sour I'ma hit your hood, I'm in pocket how I get around. I'm on my toes like a midget in a urinal. Whoever you connect, boy, better tell him I'm looking for the killer. I'm trying to catch a felon.
I'm looking for who's selling. Mary cooking my cerebellum. I pin and tell him my artist war, Machiavelli. By day 7, see what you smelling is me and Helen. You see that 7 or 7 C's, call me Magellan. Or call a Reverend. Mac 11 is.
Method Man came in perfect. I like that line. I'm on the 7 C's, call me Magellan. I love it. Are we getting a new Method Man album? This sounds like, I know he's been on his acting bag, but if we're getting a new album from Method Man, at the very least, if we can get a Redman and Method Man album, oh man, that'd be great. That'd be great. But I'm liking the chemistry on this song. It's like they haven't missed a beat. It's like one big competition with each other, man. And I'm liking this. I'm liking this.
Put your melon. If that don't get him a honeydew in a split second. America's most put us both in the smoke.
Get your melon, honeydew. I split them in a second. Oh man, Method Man.
Section with no sticks and no seeds and no
I'm
exception.
like, yeah, you know I roll that. I'm like, this nigga got it. Yo,
Yeah, and then we smoke that.
I like the
now everybody say that. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll that. I'm like, this nigga got it. Yo,
Yeah, and then we smoke that.
Brick City, smack
Hey, blunt brothers, you got the herb, the blunt covered. You came to beef with a butter knife that don't cut it. Just cold busted, wild style when I cold crush it. The Gilla House got a Gilla monster, cold blooded. You already, I run with Reggie, I don't puff it. We like De Niro and Joe Pesci, but low budget. Bunch of buzz killers, buzz buzzers, they asking how you
Let's rewind that. Oh my God, did you hear that? let me rewind that.
puff it. We like De Niro and Joe Pesci, but low budget. Bunch of buzz killers.
Did he? If I hope I'm saying this right, we're like the Mirror and Joe Pesci. We low budget. I'm sensing that Method Man is starting to really incorporate a lot of his acting influences into his raps, which is perfect. Which is a new dimension from Method Man because we're getting a new side of Method Man I'm liking. He did this on the Snoop and on the Snoop track, Skyscrapers. He's doing it here. I hope we get a new Method Man project. Possibly, I'm aiming for the skies, a new Redman and Method Man album. Hopefully, right? Let's keep going, man.
Buzz buzzers, they asking how you do it. Ain't no Nike to
Hey,
it,
yo,
I
Meth,
just
I
does
got
it.
that.
Ain't no Nike to what I just do it. How he do it? I'm thinking like people ask him how you able to rap and act and still be able to come back like you never lost a step. I'm like Nike. I just do it.
Daddy, and I'm listening to Bob Marley. I tear the roof off the porch like it's house party. I got the new edition, that green homie, it's a killer. Ralph, Ricky, Mike, Bobby, Ronnie, and Johnny. Niggas say they got gas, but it's all gas. They talking like
I like that new edition line by Redman. That's a dope line. Let's rewind that.
Mike, Bobby, Ronnie, and Johnny. Niggas say they got gas, but it's
Let's
all
rewind that.
off the porch like it's house party. I got the new edition, that green homie, it's a killer. Ralph, Ricky, Mike, Bobby, Ronnie, and Johnny. Niggas say they got gas, but it's all gas. They talking like a podcast, nigga, all ass. I never share and I don't pass the clip, cause that shit on his lip got some shit on his lip, nigga. Yeah, you know I roll that. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
Yeah, and then we smoke that.
Now everybody say that. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll that. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
Yeah, and then we smoke that.
Brick City, snap now. Hey, yo, Mel, this weed I got, bruh, I swear on my mama I can see the future. The hood say I got kush with diamonds. I'm at court in marijuana pajamas. The judge said, you smoke bud? I'm like, yeah, your honor. I got the plug, so my homie got it on the low. Cause I'm looking at your O's, nigga, like, what are those? I got a party in LA. If I run out of bud, I need more like Rudy Ray, nigga.
In my French, I'm so international. This is Doc and Meth, Jim Fumin, Sacre Bleu. The skunk on me, mon ami, pet le vieux. Call your nephew, and that's how I give me yep with you. This
Oof. Man, what a bar. What a bar. Let's rewind that, man. Did you hear that? We're like Reddit. Oh,
I'm so international. This is Doc and
Cause I'm looking at your O's, nigga, like, what are those? I got a party in LA. If I run out of bud, I need more like Rudy Ray, nigga.
in my French, I'm so international. This is Doc and Meth, Jim Fumin, Sacre Bleu.
I'm so international. Pardon my French. And he speaks in French, but I can't even pronounce or say what he's saying, but man, Method Man.
Skunk on me, mon ami, pet le vieux. Call your nephew, and that's how I give me yep with you. This is Vex on me. More energized, no rest for me. No positive without negative, more or less, homie. The best bud in the West on me, no stress on me. Protect your neck, cause me and Brody got next,
I'm
homie.
like, yeah, you know I roll like.
Wow. Another Wu-Tang line there, right? Wow. 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 I like that line. I like this line a little bit better. Protect your neck, right? Me and Red coming up next. I hope that is an entryway into an album. I just said it, and I hope it is. I hope it is, right? But let's keep going.
I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
Yeah, and then we smoke that.
Now everybody say that. I'm like, yeah, you know I roll that. I'm like, this nigga got it, yo.
Yeah, and then we smoke that.
Brick City, Staten Island.
All right. Sorry about that. All right. So this is my thoughts on this. I'm loving that track. Right. If this is an entryway for potential Method Man album or Red and Meth album, I'm here for it. I can't wait for it. Dope track. This is one of my favorite tracks on the Muddy Waters 2, which leads me into the segue into Muddy Waters 2. Let's speak about this album, right? I did a little bit of comparison and I did a little bit of research on kind of the inspiration of Muddy Waters 2. And of course, you compare it back to Muddy Waters 1. Muddy Waters 1 is probably is considered Redman's, I'll say, good to classic albums. A lot of people think Redman's classic album is What the Album. there are a lot of like division as far as like people what people feel like Redman is best and favorite album, right? And Redman, of course, is a legend in his own right, right? So people can think that Muddy Waters is kind of his good to classic album. Docs the Name is kind of his classic album. What the album, right? Is kind of like his entryway. Dark is There is a Dark Side is kind of his entryway, right? Um, and even his album with Method Man, right? They came up with Blackout, which I felt was a decent album. Blackout 2 was kind of a disappointment to me. That's why I feel like if they come out with a Blackout 3, I think it's very needed, right? So this is my thing. It's just one of those things where Redman to me is kind of he's a little bit underrated. He's a legend within his own right. He's a legend within the circles of Method Man, Wu Tang, EPMD. He's a legend in my book. So let's talk about this Muddy Waters album, right? Does it stand up to today in 2024? Is it a classic? I say no. I don't think it's a classic, but that's neither me or here to say. We're gonna definitely see the test of time. I do think this album is good. I do think this album is good. I do think that um, I have a couple things that I feel like are a little bit off about this album, right? A little bit small things, kind of similar to what I felt about the LL Cool J album, right? But I think this is better than LL Cool J's album. I feel like this is an album Eminem should have done, right? Muddy Waters 2 is the album I felt like Eminem should have done. I think this album personifies a lot of Redman's personality, right? We're getting the funny bars, we're getting the goofy bars, we're getting the serious bars, we're getting the braggadocious bars. And the reason why I'm liking this is because it personifies who Redman is, right? Redman is an artist that is not as mainstream or global, but a lot of rappers know who he is. Redman has mentioned him, right? A lot of Eminem has mentioned Redman, right? As far as his influences, as far as who he kind of studied. And I see why, right? And again, I feel like this should have been the Eminem project, right? Coupe de Grace. Um, so let's do a little track breakdown of my feelings on this album. We got 32 tracks here, right? I have some issues with this, right? Muddy Waters originally released in 1996, right? And I feel like we were in the era of long albums, right? And I'm giving Redman a little bit of a pass on this because the cohesiveness from Muddy Waters 1 to Muddy Waters 2. But I don't think some of these songs work in 2024, right? And I'm whether that and I feel like Redman was rapping on this album. He stays on par of who he is. He stays on par of what he's trying to tell you as a listener, right? The hip hop heads, um, but I think that's where it kind of stops, right? We as the hip hop heads recognize and know Redman for who he is, but will this gravitate to a new audience? I don't think so, and there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like that's kind of who Redman has been. He doesn't really care what the mainstream or commercial artists, consumers feel about him. He's never really been. He's kind of stuck to his guns and stuck to his personality, and I don't have a problem with that. And I think he is elite. Is this a classic? No. Is this a good album? I do think so. I think this is out of all the albums we've heard as far as legends coming out this year, I do think this album tops that list. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But I do think 32 tracks is a long album, right? Which tells me I feel like, and I'm getting ready to talk about this in a few moments, that I feel like this album was broken down into 2 to 3 albums and put it all into one. And I do think some of these songs don't work in 2024. I will say Redman's rapping was elite on this, but the production was a little off. Some of the lyrics here, some of the songs were sounded a little bit outdated. I will say some of Redman's rapping on his did sound a little outdated, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that when it comes to Redman because I am a little bit biased towards Redman. I like Redman, um, and there's a lot of respect level I have for Redman, right? So let's go through this album, and at the end, I'm gonna go through some of the tracks probably I would have left off the album, and maybe trim this album down a little bit to make this more of a mainstream album going forward. But also, I do think this album is probably in its top five as far as Redman albums, yes. But he's come out with a lot of albums, a lot of mixtapes, right? So let's get to it. Let's get to it, right? Of course, MW2, welcome, short track, you know. The F going on. I think this is a good entryway starting off the album. Right off the back, we're getting who Redman is. Right off the back, we're getting his energy. He's always done a good job of this, keeping to himself, staying to who he is, right? And that's kind of been his brand, his personification, right? What's Hot featuring Orion Juice Jones, dope track. This is the first single, Jersey. Energetic, kind of homage to Jersey, where he's from. I thought this is a cool track. This is one of those tracks. I didn't review it when it came out. I was so interested in his album, so I understand why this track was on here. I thought it was a cool track, and this is where I think that we get into some of the bloat as far as on this album, right? Fat Shirley skit. I don't think this works in 2024. La La La, like I said, is one of my favorite tracks on this album. Don't You Miss is a dope track. The way he speaks about Don't You Miss the way rapping is, and he's kind of speaking on a lot of the KRS Ones, the Rakims, kind of talking about Don't You Miss what rap, what it was, and I appreciated the song. I like this song. Ignorant, again, I think it's just an okay track. It signifies the type of rapper Redman is, who he is. It continuing on his personality, but I thought it was just okay. I could have done without that track. Uncle Quilly, again, I don't think it works in 2024. But again, it just works for Redman as the artist, right? A was I'm a little bit jaded on this track because I feel like this is the lane and production he kind of should have went with, but I feel like his energy and his rapping kind of drowned out the beat a little bit. And that's what I said. I just felt like it was a cool track as far as production wise, but I feel like his execution and his rapping on this album didn't really work for me on this, right? Hood Star featuring Faith Evans and Kid Capri, dope track. I like this track a lot. Don't Want to See Me was the braggadocious Redman, right? Could I have I'm a little bit jaded on this. I'm okay with this track being on here, but I'm okay if it wasn't on here. I think it was just an okay track. I'm on there. BS was the second track. Again, I feel like this needed a feature on this, a heavy power feature on this. I kind of wish Method Man was on this. But again, it was a cool track. He just released a video for it. Let me know if you guys want me to kind of review that. The Truck, again, I think this is another skit that did not fit very well on the album in 2024. I could have done without that. Pop the Trunk, just okay. And I understand why these skits are here, kind of to be that buffer to the next track. I get all that. But the Trunk and the Pop the Trunk are just okay tracks. Didn't really work for me. Ghetto Motivation sounds a little bit outdated. I like the where he was trying to go with this. I think the beat is sounds very outdated, and that kind of doesn't do it for me, right? It sounds like he tried to get a certain beat, fit his rapping, fit his style on there, and I don't think this beat worked for that. I'm a little bit jaded on this. I could have done without him on this. Mm, or maybe if it was maybe a little bit earlier on the track list, that's already track 16. Track 17, Dynamite. I felt like Dynamite was just okay. It was good to hear Sheik Luch in this, good energy. I think he brought a lot of the energy on this. I think the beat was just okay. Again, I could have done without this. Wave was just okay. Again, we're getting into tracks I felt were just okay. I could have done without. My weed's been taken. Skit. I understand why he put that in 2024 as far as like the whole marijuana being legal and things like that. Could I done without? Yeah, in 2024, right? And this is where I feel like the album kind of started here. This is where I feel like the album kind of started. Kush featuring Snoop Dogg. Snoop brought something extra to this. I like this track. it kind of personifies kind of Redman and Snoop dynamic with La 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 and Kush and weed and marijuana, all that. I like this track. Boudica shot. mm, Again, this beat sounded a little bit outdated. I could have done without this track. Goofy. This is dope. This is a dope track. Whoever Key Turner is, dope artist. Let me know down in the comments who she is. Let me know if this is somebody you want me to review. I've never heard of her music, but she is dope. Obama Stick Up again. I feel like this is a little bit outdated skit. Didn't really need that. 1 o'clock was just okay, right? Um, Light It Up, and I'm gonna mention all the artists on here just out of respect, right? Artifacts, Channel Live, Heather B, Lady Luck, Lords of the Underground, Naughty by Nature, Nikki D, Queen Latifah, Rod Digger, and Shaq. This was an underwhelming track for me. I feel like the beat should have been a little bit better. I respect every artist that's on here. I like every artist that's on here that paved the way as far as rap. Shaq did his thing on this. Artifacts did his thing. Channel Live did their thing. Lost of the Underground. Even Lady Luck sounded good on this. Even Queen Latifah sounded good on this, right? But I don't think the beat does a very good justice on this at all, right? I would keep the song if it was a different beat. I just wish this beat didn't do it for me. And I understand from an artist perspective being on this track, I understand it that I feel like this beat was very underwhelming, right? Um, what you talking about? Dope track, dope track. And again, I feel like the bottom half of this album gets a lot better than the top half, right? And I'm gonna speak on that first in a second here. Why You Mad featuring Mr. Cream and Rut Dog, dope track, dope track. Super Level 7, of course, was on Muddy Waters 1, right? And we're getting into part 7. The skit, I feel like, works on this. Entryway into Superman Lover 7. Perfect track. Featuring Melanie Rutherford. I feel like I've heard this name before. Let me know who this is. Let me know if this is somebody you want me to review. And then we get into Superman Lover 7 Continue. Dope track. Look at Here featuring Kara. What's the one is a hit? Is a hit. This should be the third single on the track. And Smoke With Me, which is the last track, is a good track too. Dope track, dope track. So I feel like the album starts at What You Talking About. So we got What You Talking About, Why You Mad, Superman Lover Skit, Superman Lover 7 featuring Melanie Rutherford, Superman Lover 7 Continue, Look Ahead featuring Kara Russ 1, Smoke With Me. So these are the tracks on how I would have cut this album down a little bit, right? Um the F going on, keep What's Hot, keep Jersey, I would keep this, but I wouldn't mind if it wasn't on here. Fat Shirley Skit can go. La 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 stays. Don't You Miss stays. Ignit can go. Uncle Quilly lyrics can go. A can probably go. Hood Star stays. Don't Want to See Me. Um, mm, I feel like can stay. This track can stay because it's kind of again it personifies that Redman brand. I'm on the BS. I feel like I've heard this track over and over and over. I feel like that can probably go. The truck can go. Pop That Truck and go. Ghetto Motivation if this is with different beat, but the same lines of this would have been different. I would let it stay, but I think like this is that can go. Dynamite can probably go. I appreciated Sheik Lucius verse, it was dope verse. I feel like can go. Wave can go. My Weed's Been Taken Skit can go. Kush, I, this can stay. I feel like we could. I feel like we could have got a little bit more into uh more production like this. And I feel like this would have been a little bit better, right? Boudica Shot can go. Goofy stays. Obama Stick Up can go. 1 o'clock can go. Light It Up. I'm going to say it can stay with a different beat, right? I appreciate these artists. I feel like it can stay different beat. What You Talking About stays. Why You Mad stays. Superman Lover Skit stays. This is the only skit on the album I would keep. Superman Lover 7 featuring Melanie Rutherford stays. Superman Lover Continue stays. Look at Here stays. Smoke With Me stays. So I would have cut this down to maybe about what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So that cuts it down almost half. And I think this would have been perfect at about 18 tracks. But I will say, because of Redman's persona and kind of the continuation with the first Muddy Waters album, I appreciated it. I like the cohesion and kind of the concept here, right? So for that, right, I'm gonna give this album an 8, right? Minus the skits, minus some of the lackluster beats, some of the lackluster features that I specified before. I'm gonna give this album an 8. I feel like this album, as far as the legends that have come out this year, is the better project. So I'm gonna give this album an 8. I think it's a good album. I think it's a respectable album. Redman's already a legend, an icon as far as the hip hop. So I don't think this will bring a new commercial audience or a new mainstream artist audience, and I'm okay with that, and I'm pretty sure he's okay with that. Um, it'll be interesting to know kind of how long it took him to make this album. Kind of his thoughts and processes of going to this album. I enjoyed this album. I like this album. This is something that I'm probably going to keep and probably purchase a vinyl on just to have that iconic, legend type of album, in my hands, right? And maybe I'll even have it here, right? And that'd be interesting. So I'm gonna give this album an 8. Do I think it's a classic? No. Do I think it's better than its previous albums? No. But I do think this year alone in 2024 has been the better album as far as our legends coming out this year. All right. I appreciate you guys hanging with me this far. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're an up and coming artist and you want your music reviewed here, don't hesitate to reach out to me, whether it may be a track, an album, or an interview. All right. I'm philosophical from the rap review room, y'all. I'm out, y'all. Peace.